You send a message and then silence. Minutes feel like hours and your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? What if they are upset with me? And before you know it, you have imagined 100 worst case scenarios, most of which aren't even true. This is the power of overthinking, and it is something we all experience. In this video, I will discuss overthinking and I will give 5 top tips on how to manage if this is something that you struggle with. I'm Professor Shanaya Rathod, a psychiatrist in the United Kingdom. I post interesting videos on well-being weekly on my YouTube channel. So please don't forget to subscribe and you will not miss the next one. While overthinking is not a mental health diagnosis, it can affect one's mental well-being. Overthinking is like a mental hamster wheel. Your thoughts go in circles, analyzing every detail, replaying conversations, and worrying about things that may never happen. It often starts with a simple thought, but quickly spirals into a maze of what ifs and worst case scenarios. Overthinking is driven by fear of failure, fear of rejection, or making the wrong decision, and it tricks your brain into believing that by thinking more, you can gain control. However, the opposite happens. You become stuck, unable to act, and emotionally drained. At the heart of overthinking is the inner critique, the voice in your head that magnifies self-doubt and convinces you that you are not good enough. It tells you that you are going to embarrass yourself in a meeting, that you should have handled a situation differently, or that you are doomed to fail even before you start. Now, this negative voice is often shaped by our past experiences, societal pressures, or the need for perfectionism. Over time, overthinking can take a serious toll on mental health, increasing anxiety, stress, and even leading to depression. It robs you of the present moment, making it difficult to enjoy life, focus on tasks, or make decisions with confidence. Fortunately, overthinking is a habit that can be broken. So here are 5 powerful ways to quieten your mind and regain control from overthinking if that is a problem for you. First is challenge your inner critique. Our thoughts feel real, but that doesn't mean they are always true. When you catch yourself overthinking, pause and ask, is this fact or is it just fear? Often our worries are assumptions, not realities. Cognitive behavior therapy calls this cognitive distortions, means mental traps that make us believe the worst without real evidence. For example, if your mind says, I'm going to mess up this presentation, you might automatically assume failure. But if you challenge that thought, you may realize, I have prepared. I have spoken in front of many people before and I have received good feedback. So why should this be different? By questioning your thoughts, you weaken their power and create a more balanced, realistic perspective. So why should this technique work? Well, your brain believes what you tell it. By actively challenging your negative self-talk, you disrupt the automatic thought loops that fuel overthinking. Over time, this rewires your thinking patterns in the brain, making it easier to manage anxiety and self-doubt. Secondly, focus on what you can control. Overthinking often stems from trying to control the uncontrollable, how others will react, the outcome of a situation, or things that haven't even happened yet. The reality is, no matter how much you think about something, you cannot change the past and you cannot predict the future. The only thing within your control is your own actions and responses in the present. Instead of worrying about how an interviewer will perceive you, focus on what you can do to present your best self. Preparing for common questions, practicing confident body language, and showing up on time. If you are overthinking a conflict with a friend, focus on what you can do, like reach out to talk, express your feelings clearly, and accept that their reaction is beyond your control. So why should this strategy work? Well, when you shift your energy towards action rather than worry, you break the cycle of helplessness. Your brain stops fixating on what might go wrong and engaging in productive problem solving, which again reduces anxiety and increases your confidence. You can use mindfulness strategies to remain in the present. Now, overthinking strives when your mind is trapped in the past, like regret or replaying mistakes, or the future where you worry about what might happen. Mindfulness pulls you back into the present where overthinking has no power. A simple mindfulness trick is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. Name 5 things you can see. Name 4 things you can touch. Name 3 things you can hear. Name 2 things you can smell. Name 1 thing you can taste. This technique engages your senses, redirecting your mind from anxious thoughts to what's happening right now. Another effective strategy is deep breathing. Inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4. This calms your nervous system, signaling to your brain that there is no immediate danger. Why should this work? Well, mindfulness rewires your brain to be less reactive. By consistently practicing it, you train yourself to recognize when you're spiraling and gently bring yourself back to reality. Some evidence suggests that mindfulness reduces stress, enhances focus, and even improves emotional regulation, making it a powerful tool against overthinking. Number 4, set a time limit for worrying. If you can't stop thinking about something, give yourself permission to worry, but with boundaries. Set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and allow yourself to analyze the problem. Write down your thoughts if needed. Once the time is up, move on. If intrusive thoughts return later, remind yourself, well, I have already worried about this. I will revisit it during my next worry session. Over time, this technique helps your brain respect boundaries, preventing one anxious thought from taking over your entire day. Why does this technique work? Well, this method prevents rumination from becoming an all-consuming habit. By scheduling worry time, you acknowledge your concerns without letting them control you. Research shows that structured worry periods reduce stress and help people feel more in control of their thoughts. And number 5, take action, even a small one. Overthinking thrives on indecision. The longer you analyze a situation, the harder it becomes to act. The best way to break free? Well, take one small step. If you're feeling stuck on whether to apply for a job, just submit the application. Don't overthink every single detail. If you're unsure about sending a text, type it out, read maximum couple of times and press send. The point isn't whether the decision is perfect. It's about getting unstuck. Unless new information is to be had, you can only make a decision based on what you know at one point in time. Why does this technique work? Well, action disrupts the overthinking cycle. Once you take a step, your brain stops looping and starts moving forward. This builds momentum, helping you to trust yourself and make decisions with less fear over time. Breaking free from overthinking isn't about eliminating thoughts completely. It's about managing them so they don't control you. By challenging your inner critique, focusing on what you can control, practicing mindfulness, setting time limits, and taking action, you can train your mind to work for you rather than against you. The key is progress, not perfection. Every time you redirect an anxious thought, you are strengthening new neural pathways that make it easier to stay calm and in the present. Over time, your mind will become a quieter, more supportive space, one that helps you thrive instead of holding you back. If you've enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I have, the more YouTube gives me the ability to make more creative videos. Like it, share it, tell it. Tell it to all the people you know. And thank you for watching.